Hi, I'm Dr. Joanna McMillan and I'm a nutrition scientist, but I'm also an avid cook. And that's why I'm loving this new area of culinary nutrition. And that's really about bringing nutrition science to life with the way we all eat, which is about creating, preparing and serving and eating delicious meals. Now, I've partnered with Meat and Livestock Australia to help bring to life some resources that are going to help us nutrition leaders to guide Australians towards balanced meals with no food waste. And this is their series of Make Every Bite Count tips. And this series of videos will bring each of those tips to life. In this video, we're focusing on the fourth of the Make Every Bite Count tips, and that's on using leftovers. This is about avoiding food waste. Now that's key for making a healthy diet affordable for families and for households, but it's also about the effects on the environment, which we know. Now, vegetables are one of the things that, because they're perishable, they're often going off in the bottom of the fridge before we've managed to use them. So let's really share with people how we can use up those leftover veggies. Now, when I've got my leftover veggies like this, these are perfect roasted. Just pop them into a roasting tray, extra virgin olive oil, and put them into your oven. Then you've got ready to go veggies. This is especially good, I find, for smaller households who may not use up an entire head of cauliflower or broccoli. These are great roasted. Then I've got some ready to go for several meals. I've got some pumpkin and some sweet potato there. And when you've got the barbecue going, how about slicing up some veggies that grill really nicely? And again, I love to use these in my wraps and in my salads. I can just pop a few of these onto, for example, the salad that I've got here. They go beautifully, and I've got them ready to go. So it's all about very quick assembling of meals. Beetroot is messy, quite frankly, right? So you can either wrap this in foil, or what I like to do is just to scrub them. And then again, it's extra virgin olive oil, maybe some balsamic vinegar, pop them into the oven and then keep them in a container in the fridge, and it's another item ready to go. My garlic, if you've bought too many garlics and they're starting to go soft, wrap this whole thing in foil into the oven, especially when you're cooking a meal anyway and the oven's on, and then you're squeezing that garlic into marinades, into dressings, using them into a curry or anything where you want to put a little flavor bomb. So let's look at some meals we can then create. So I've popped some of my roast veggies just simply into a soup here, and I can add some leftover meat into my soup. And then we've got a real balanced meal in a bowl. Delicious. And then with salads, use up the extra veggies, yes, but again, those grilled or roast veggies, my beetroot is going to go perfectly into this salad. And then again, my leftover pulled meat is fabulous in a salad like this. So I've assembled a meal from ready to go ingredients in my fridge. What could be easier? And then what about a lovely ratatouille? This is a ratatouille not made from scratch, but using my roast veggies or even those grilled veggies can simply be added with a can of tomatoes and then serve your ratatouille with a steak. Easy midweek eating. So this is all about using leftovers in creative ways to make affordable diets, balanced diets, increasing our veggie and legume intake, and limiting the impacts on the environment. Now, I've talked about using leftovers, and that's one of the key tips for avoiding food waste, but there's two more. One is smart shopping, which I've covered in one of the other videos, and then the last tip is food storage. So we've got to try to guide people to understand how to get the best out of the produce that they buy. So when we're buying mince, which most of us are, what do I do when I've bought a 500-gram pack of mince? How do I store that correctly? Well, you know what? If you're cooking, I think even if you're on your own, make sure you cook up that whole batch. And then the best tip is to use little containers like this to make a bolognese, and that's your base for so many different meals. And I can put these in individual portions or in family-sized portions, whatever the household is, into the freezer, and I've got some ready-to-go meals. So here's just some of my ideas. I'm sure you can come up with many, many more. I've got the bolognese as my basis. One of my favorite things to do is to add some black beans, my absolute favorite, polyphenol rich, lots of fiber, adds a vibrancy for the meal, along with some Mexican style kind of spices into, suddenly I've got a chili bowl. I've served it with some brown rice, some avocado, some fresh coriander and chili. You might like to add some yogurt or some grated cheese, whatever goes along to that, and you've got a meal in minutes. Or what about stuffing some veggies? So here I've just added some lovely vibrant green peas. Who doesn't have green peas ready to go in their freezer? add a side salad, and you can stuff, I've chosen to stuff some capsicums, but it could be sweet potatoes. You could scoop the center out of a baked potato. You can do it with zucchini, a whole number of different veggies. It's a brilliant way to use up some of that bolognese. I might even like to add some of these roast chickpeas, which is another way of adding legumes along with the peas into our balanced red meat meal. So that's just a couple of ways, but I'm sure you can think of many more, from tacos to burritos, to all sorts of different ways that we can use mince as the base for numerous different dishes. So it's about getting people to be creative with using their leftovers, with storing food really well, and smart shopping to make sure they're buying the right amounts in the first place. You will find loads more ideas for how to use leftovers and how to aim for no food waste at the MLA Healthy Meals website. So let's together make sure that we're inspiring and sharing these ideas to get Australians eating more balanced meals with no food waste.